Do you say yes when you don't want to? Do you struggle to speak up? Feel guilty setting boundaries? Well, there's a reason why your body panics when you say no. The truth is, your nervous system was trained to keep the peace, even at your own expense. I'm Callie Sorensen, a trauma-informed people-pleasing specialist, and I help people break free from this pattern by understanding the real root causes behind it and unlearning it. In this video, we're going to go beyond the surface. We'll explore why people-pleasing starts in your early environments, how it becomes wired into your nervous system, and why being honest can feel so scary and terrifying, even when it isn't. People-pleasing doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It's shaped by the environments that you grew up in, many of which rewarded self-abandonment and discouraged authenticity. So let's break this down by environment. First, your caregivers and your family systems. If you grew up in a household where love felt inconsistent, where affection was tied to how well you behaved, where criticism was common and comfort was rare, or where your caregivers were just emotionally unavailable or not fully present with you in the way that you needed them to be, you likely began to equate your value with your compliance. You may have been rewarded for being good, helpful, quiet, or agreeable, and punished or shamed for having big feelings, needs, or boundaries, made to feel like your emotions were too much or a burden. So then your nervous system learned very early on that love equals compliance and safety equals self-suppression. So you adapted. You became the peacekeeper, the fixer, the good girl, the good boy, not because you were trying to manipulate anyone, but just because your survival depended on staying connected. We needed our family unit to stay alive, to stay safe, even if that meant disconnecting from yourself. Next, let's take a look into your early school experiences. Many school systems are designed to reward obedience, not curiosity, not authenticity. You may have been taught to raise your hand but not your voice, be polite, not honest, be quiet, stay in line, don't talk back, follow the rules, and do not question them. You were praised for self-control and punished for emotional expression or assertiveness. So you learned, be easy, don't cause problems, please your teachers and get that good grade. And that message often sank deeper than the actual lesson plan. Next, let's talk about religious environments. Many faith traditions teach beautiful values like selflessness, service, compassion, but for some, those values can become twisted into something else, self-abandonment. You may have been told to die for yourself, that sacrifice is holy, that your worth comes from giving, not receiving. And while service can be sacred, it becomes harmful when you're taught that your needs and feelings are selfish or sinful, that goodness equals putting others first always. Next, let's look at gender roles. From a very early age, many of us are socialized differently based on gender. Girls are often told to be nurturing, accommodating, agreeable, and emotionally available at all times, that they should put others' needs before their own. Boys are expected to be tough, strong, self-reliant, stoic, and emotionally restrained, and that having feelings and needs or showing vulnerability is a sign of weakness. You may have heard, be a good girl, don't be so emotional, man up, real men don't cry. But what do these messages teach you? That you're only lovable when you're easy, that your full emotional range is too much for others. So you begin to edit yourself, to only show the parts of you that feel acceptable. The result? You don't get to have full emotions, just the ones that make others comfortable. Next, let's dive into culture and society. In Western society, likability, hustle, constant positivity are often celebrated. You're encouraged to smile through it, keep the peace, be agreeable, stay productive. In Eastern or collectivist cultures, the emphasis is often on harmony, obedience, conformity, and not making waves. You're taught to defer to authority, to the elders or tradition. In both cases, the message can be the same. Don't upset the group. Don't rock the boat. So what does this all mean? These systems and environments don't just influence your behavior, they shape your emotional blueprint. When you're constantly praised for being agreeable and punished for having real feelings and needs, you start to believe love has to be earned. My needs are dangerous. To stay safe, I need to disappear a little bit in order to make others happy. People pleasing isn't just about being nice. It's about staying safe in systems that made authenticity feel risky. And that's where this people pleasing pattern was formed. So now that we've looked at the environments that shape people pleasing, let's talk about what those environments teach you to believe. Because over time, those external pressures get internalized. They turn into unconscious beliefs that feel like the truth. And they sound like this. If I don't keep others happy, I'll be rejected. My feelings are a burden. My needs are too much. It's my job to keep the peace. Love is earned by staying happy, small, or useful. These aren't just passing thoughts. They become deeply wired patterns that drive your behavior unconsciously. You start filtering your decisions through the lens of, will this upset anyone? Am I being too much? Will they still love me if I say no? Let me give you a few examples. Maybe somebody asks you for help and you're exhausted, but you say yes. Not because you want to, but because you're afraid of what it means if you don't. Or you go along with something you don't agree with. Not because you lack an opinion, but because voicing that opinion, it feels like a risk to the relationship. You end up prioritizing other people's comfort over your own truth, not to manipulate or to please out of weakness, but because on a nervous system level, you've learned that keeping the peace is how you stay safe. So what happens? Over time, this pattern starts to shape your identity. People can see you as the calm one, the capable one, the nice one, the one that always says yes. And it's easy to confuse that pattern for personality. You start to identify with it. But here's the truth. People pleasing is not who you are. It's who you became in order to stay connected. And once you realize that, you can begin to reclaim your voice, your boundaries, and your sense of self. So now that you understand the beliefs people pleasing creates, let's go even deeper. Because this pattern isn't just in your thoughts, it lives in your body. This isn't just psychological, it's physiological. When you were younger, if being honest, saying no, or expressing how you really felt led to guilt, shame, conflict, or disconnection, your nervous system stored that. And it learned honesty equals danger. Boundaries or speaking up equals disconnection. Even if no one said that out loud to you, your body remembers that. Your body keeps the score. So now as an adult, even when you're in a safe situation with safe people, your body might still react like you're in danger the moment you try to speak up. Let's say someone asks you to do something and you know that you don't have the capacity. You want to say no. And so you start typing out the message, but then suddenly your chest tightens, your heart races, and your throat closes. You feel this urgency to say yes, just to make the discomfort go away. See, that's not weakness. That's not overthinking. That is a nervous system threat response. This specific pattern is called the Fawn response. It's what happens when your body chooses appeasing as a way to avoid conflict or emotional danger. Instead of fight, flight, or freeze, your body chooses to fawn, keep the peace. So you smile even when you're hurt. You apologize when it's not your fault. You say yes when you're exhausted. You prioritize others over yourself. You do anything to protect yourself. Your nervous system learned staying small keeps me safe. Avoiding conflict keeps me connected. And here's something really important. This isn't just mindset. It's a wiring. And also, because it's a wiring, it can be rewired. When people pleasing is a nervous system pattern, you can't just think your way out of it. You have to regulate your way out of it. And that starts with awareness. Once you start recognizing these patterns in your body of your chest tightening, your voice shaking, or you rushing to say yes out of fear, you can start to slowly press the pause button, breathe, and create space for a new response. But please know this. You didn't choose this pattern. Your system adapted to protect you. And now that you see it clearly, you can begin to unlearn it. And just to be clear, you're not overreacting. You are remembering. Your nervous system is remembering the moments when honesty once did cost you something, when no did lead to punishment, guilt, or disconnection. So even now, even when it's safe, it can still feel dangerous. But that fear, it's not a flaw. It's not a weakness. It's an emotional memory stored in the body, and that was learned. So here's the good news. Again, anything that was learned can be unlearned. And that unlearning doesn't happen by shaming yourself or forcing yourself to be more assertive overnight and perfect. It happens through repatterning, regulating your nervous system, practicing emotional safety, building that boundary muscle slowly and compassionately, learning to stay with the discomfort of being real instead of abandoning yourself to stay liked. This isn't about becoming cold or disconnected. It's about becoming honest, real, whole, and fulfilled. So to sum it up, people pleasing isn't about being nice. It was about surviving in environments that made our truth feel dangerous. You're not broken, you're adaptive. And now you get to change. Now you can speak your truth and be kind. Set your boundaries without guilt. Reclaim your needs without shame because your truth and authenticity matters. You don't have to please or disappear to be loved. So if this video resonated with you, please make sure you subscribe for more videos in my People Pleasing and Boundary series. Download the free resources and comment here. Which environment shaped your people pleasing the most? I would love to hear from you. And also, if you want one-on-one support to go deeper, you can book a free consultation in the description below.